Join me next time as we take...
Let's try again when the vehicle's not pulling out.
Yeah. Hi, it's Mandy of Hoyt Arboretum, and today we're going to take a closer look at one of my favorite little plants of very wet, damp places called a liverwort. So liverworts are these small little land plants. They're often clumped together with mosses and hornworts. They're a bryophyte, which means that they're a terrestrial land plant that does not have truly defined organs, so there's no true roots, leaves, or flowers or stems. And they are often really common in slick, wet, damp places near like rocks, near waterfalls, and you'll often also find them in nursery settings, such as in a pot right here. Actually, liverworts are sometimes considered sort of a pest in nursery operations because they cover up soil in pots and might keep water from actually soaking down into plant roots. Come on, let's take a closer look. So this is a liverwort. It's called a Marchantia liverwort. And you can identify it because it has these flat sprays that come out. And this is a type of liverwort called a thalloid liverwort. And this is called a thallus, which is basically a structure of undifferentiated vegetative tissues. Now, Marchantia spreads horizontally, so it's growing out this way, and the tips have these little apical notches on them. And there are several ways that Marchantia can reproduce. One of these is vegetatively, where just chunks of the liverwort can fragment and then it can start a new plant. Or it can grow out here towards the apical tip, and the back part will die off and it becomes more plants. This is another way that this Marchantia can reproduce. These are called Gemmae cups. And this is a way that this plant reproduces asexually. It produces these little cups that has these little doohickeys on the inside. And these are called buds. And what happens is when rainwater or droplets splash into these Gemmae cups, the little buds will splash out of the cups. They can spread and splash out like 60 inches, and then it will start a new plant from these little buds. So it's reproducing asexually this way. Okay. The third way that Marchantia can reproduce is sexually. And here we have these little umbrella-like structures. Marchantia is also called an umbrella liverwort. This one is considered a male reproductive structure in that this umbrella top is kind of flat. We don't have any female ones with us right now, but they would look like this, but they're more highly dissected. But this is a male that has something called antheridia, which holds male swimming sperm. And so when the conditions are right, it has to be wet and there's rain, and then the sperm will swim from these into the female archegonia structures, and from there they will develop and produce spores. So this is a way that the Marchantia will do sexual reproduction. So Marchantia has these flat ribbon-like thallus structures, and you can also see that there's lots of these tiny white bumps on here. So the white bumps are basically just air pores that allow for gas exchange. So liverworts are similar to mosses in that they're small little terrestrial land plants that don't have any specialized organs, and they also don't have any vascular tissue. And they also reproduce by spores, not by seeds. They're called liverworts because long ago people thought that the structures of liverworts sort of resembled a liver. And so people thought that if whatever a plant looked like might be used medicinally to cure whatever problems that they had. And then wort is just an old English term for a plant that's often used for food or for medicine. So if you've heard of St. John's wort or pennywort or nipplewort, it just means some type of plant that has these other uses. Thanks for taking a closer look at liverworts with me. Join me next time as we take another look at a cool plant at Hoyt Arboretum. Bye!